So this past week was Glicked, a fan-made thing where people go watch Gladiator 2 and Wicked, and I will be reviewing both in separate videos. I'm going to start with Wicked since that's the movie I saw first, and that was the one that I was most interested in watching. But yeah, I saw Wicked, and it was a really great film. I wanted to start by saying, holy shit, the marketing for this film was absolutely insane. Never before have I seen a film that was just absolutely shown everywhere, just talked about everywhere. You had AMC just having it play before every movie star, having all the merchandise and food and photo ops and just every single thing about merchandise you can think of, anything at all. There was something related to Wicked of that being sold, if that makes sense. So yeah, so much Wicked merchandise, it was just impossible to avoid this film, or at least hearing about it. So I'm also going to shock everyone. I've never seen The Wizard of Oz, nor have I seen the Wicked play or know the story. I know, right? Shocking. I don't know about the story, so I came in completely blind and I didn't know what to expect. But that didn't really stop me. I wanted to see this film. It was everywhere, of course, and either way, I still enjoyed it a lot. I think, most of all, the acting was just fantastic. Cynthia and Ariana Grande absolutely killed it, and I really think they're going to get nominated for Oscars. If not, I'm pretty sure they both might win the Oscars for actress, supporting and main actress. Everyone else did an absolutely amazing job. Honestly, there really wasn't any bad actors in the film. Everyone really gave it their all. Even voice performances by Peter Dinklage, he really did a good job. This being a musical, shout out to Joker 2, this is how a real fucking musical is done. It was a really good musical. The music was great, fun, energetic. Everyone felt like they really gave their all. It wasn't like any sloppy musical where people didn't really give a shit or didn't really have any meaning. No, it was like good. I'm not one of those people that hates musicals for no real reason. I actually like musicals. I just really don't get a chance to see a lot of them. I thought the story was really good. This, of course, being a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, it tells the story of Elphaba and how she became the Wicked Witch of the West. This all starts while Elphaba goes to school and meets Glinda, and they both get to learn about each other and even become best friends. But as we know, in the present time, the Wicked Witch of the West is evil and Glinda is not. So yeah, I wonder what happens. And this film answers that, or at least the story does. I thought the writing was pretty good. There wasn't really any moments where it was kind of cringe. There was kind of like this other plot that was going on about like the animals being mistreated and how somebody is trying to take away their ability to speak. So I kind of like that whole side plot. The set design of this film was absolutely incredible. I'm pretty sure a lot of it was practical. I don't think any of it was CGI. And even in the moments where there was CGI, like with the animals, it didn't really look that bad. I thought it was really well done, and I really think the film is also going to get an Oscar nomination for the set design and all the costumes they did. And you can just tell they put a lot of work into it, or at least I believe they did. So, this being a musical, there's got to be some music, and I thought it was pretty good. I know there were some real mega fans of Wicked who said the music was a little bit too poppy and not more like a musical, and I really feel like that's just something film does nowadays, where you can't really have a musical if it doesn't feel like it's written by a modern day artist. They are always going to try to do something to make the song more appealing to modern audiences. It's not going to feel like a traditional musical song. Either way, I didn't really know the music. I thought the music was great. I thought a lot of it was catchy and definitely rememberable. There really isn't much to say about camera work in this movie because a lot of it does have to do with the set design, but there was a lot of cool moments where the camera was, flying up because, of course, the main character, Elphaba, does become the wizard or the Wicked Witch at the end, and there were some good camera angles that they did. I just thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, there's not really much I can really say. I can't really say that there was anything really bad about this film. Maybe some small nitpicks here, like with the music. I know a lot of people were also saying the acting could have been just a little bit better. I don't really know how it could have been, but again, a lot of people are comparing this to the actual musical and isn't letting it stand on its own 2 feet, though of course there are people who are not doing that, so it doesn't really matter. Either way, how I perceived it, I thought it was really great, and I definitely recommend this film. So yeah, getting into the actual plot of the film, the movie starts when Elphaba was born. Her parents were kind of crazy and freaky, and the wife was drinking this like green juice liquid, which I don't know if it's going to come back later. It probably will. And she drinks it while cheating on her husband, and eventually Elphaba is born, but she's green, and everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? Why are you green? Also, I kind of think it's funny that there's a warning, I believe in the UK, where this film is going to discriminate against green-skinned people, which is like, are there green-skinned people? Either way, she grows up kind of as a bastard child because she kind of like isn't really cared for. The mother has another child which is more loved and more cared about because she's actually a human. Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned this. The real beginning of the film actually takes place after the Wizard of Oz, where the Wicked Witch is defeated, and they sing about how, oh yeah, fuck her, we don't like her, I'm glad she's dead, and Glinda is like, yep, she's dead, folks, we can all go back to normal. And they sing about it, and someone asks, hey, weren't you friends with her? And she's like, yes, I was, but that was a long time ago. And then they flash back to the beginning of the story of Elphaba. So yeah, Glinda grows up not really being loved. She realizes that she has powers when trying to defend her sister, but she's, you know, shunned and like shamed for using it. Later on, Elphaba's sister, who is also in a wheelchair, I'll explain that in a moment, she gets invited to this magical school of wizardry, and you know, she gets invited and Elphaba's there to escort her, make sure she gets home safe. And then an encounter happens where Elphaba has to perform or does a magic trick to like stop something from happening, and basically she shows off, and the people at the school is like, oh wow, you should come here. Yeah. And she just goes to school there now. It is kind of just like, oh, wow, I just got into school for free. I didn't really have to do anything. But again, this is a movie. They probably got to, you know, move it along. So she gets to go to school there for free, and she gets to be under the teacher of Madame Morrible, I believe. So yeah, Elphaba gets to be her special student, and Glinda is actually wanting to be her student as well, and she gets jealous, and she eventually agrees to be Elphaba's roommate because she needs one eventually because she just got accepted into the school. She accepts this because she wants to, you know, convince Elphaba to be like, hey, put in a good word for me so I can get into that class too. I want to be a powerful wizard too. So they're roommates, and yeah, they start off not liking each other, but eventually grow to like each other through the events of like, you know, sneaking off to go to like a secret dance club, you know, getting to know each other and just being friends. You know, that's really all it took. Her being in school, she isn't really liked because, of course, she just has green skin. Really, all of her issues in this film is just really because she has green skin. She doesn't really show any, you know, she doesn't really prove that she's evil. She's more rebellious because she grew up being mistreated, so she likes to fight for people who really can't really fend for themselves. And she befriends one of the teacher who is a goat, and the goat, he's a really cool guy, but there's also this underlining mysterious group of people who also don't believe in animals talking, because part of this film is there's a rise in hatred against these animals, and eventually there's this increase of people being like, yeah, animals should just go back to just being, you know, looked at and not heard because they don't want them to talk. It really mirrors, you know, modern day society with people wanting to just make things simpler, go back to what they want to do. That's all I really want to say about that. So yeah, like I mentioned, they sneak out and go to a dance club because there's this new guy who shows up that Glinda likes, and she's like, ooh, I want him. And he's like, hey, let's all go dance. So they all go dance, and Glinda eventually tells this to Elphaba, and she, you know, she just gets informed about it, and Elphaba eventually shows up, but she's wearing her witch outfit, which isn't really an outfit, that's just what she wears. She likes wearing that, and she shows up with this hat, and, you know, she just stands out, and everyone's like, oh, who is this person? She got green skin, But before this whole event, you know, Glinda saw that the Madame Morrible was there, and she was like, hey, by the way, your student or your roommate put in a good word for you, and I think you're pretty chill. And this is where Glinda's like, oh, she really is chill. And when Elphaba shows up, she takes this opportunity to defend her, dance with her, and, you know, show everyone that, you know, even though she's green, she's pretty chill. They become good friends after this. A lot of songs happen throughout this entire movie, actually, but a good one, and I think is a really popular one, is the one about being popular. That was definitely one of my favorite songs of the film. Eventually, the plot continues, and the goat teacher is like, hey guys, by the way, this is going to be my last day because some laws were passed about animals. Also, before this, Elphaba was trying to sneak into the teachers and overheard them talking about how, like, people are trying to stop us from talking. Something's happening. The magic is going away. Well, what could this all be? But yeah, that day has come, and so new laws were passed, and now the goat is going away. He's no longer teaching, and Elphaba tries to figure this out. And eventually, the new teacher invents this cage, and they have this cute, adorable cat in there. And Elphaba takes an opportunity to free the cat, and this just shows how she wants to fight for, you know, equality, or, you know, the rights of these animals, and she believes that they deserve to speak and be free. Some people really don't see it her way. Glinda's new boyfriend eventually, you know, sympathizes with her and doesn't really want to fight with her or against her in a way. He's kind of a sus character, and I wonder if he's behind a lot of things that's been happening, but I don't know. It's also at this point where I'm pretty sure this is the point of the film, but at some point Elphaba describes, you know, her hardships through life, and she tells a story of how, like, her mother died giving birth to her sister. Throughout the film, Elphaba has been training under, you know, her professor because she wants to eventually meet the Wizard of Oz, because, you know, she has this talent, and she eventually receives an invitation to go see the Wizard of Oz, and she wants to bring Glinda. Also, Glinda used to be called Glinda, but she changed her name to Glinda. So now they all go to the city where the Wizard of Oz is, and it's this beautiful city. It's called the Emerald City, and it's where a lot of, like, cool magic tricks get shown, a lot of performances, and there's even a moment where apparently my girlfriend told me one of the Broadway's actors, I don't know which ones, but the Broadway actors who did Glinda and Elphaba was, like, doing a mini performance in the film, and I was just like, oh wow, they actually got Broadway actors to, you know, come back and do something cool. I thought that was, you know, really good. I really wish films would do that more if they're, you know, redoing musicals. Eventually, Glinda and Elphaba goes to the Wizard of Oz, and it turns out he's just a man, Jeffrey Goldblum. And, you know, they talk about how, you know, they want to build a city, you know, full of magic and all this and that. And he tells her, like, hey, Elphaba, I want you to be the next Wizard of Oz because you're talented, you're special, and I believe in you. But in reality, he just wants her to read from this book called the Grimoire spellbook, I believed, because, you know, she believes, hey, you're powerful, maybe you could read this book and, you know, you could maybe, you know, do some crazy magic stuff. It's this where we kind of get the idea, and we basically get told that the Wizard of Oz is just a fraud. He's just a random dude who just knows how to really build and really give off the illusion that he's magical. And this is like a big shocker. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know the Wizard of Oz wasn't really magical. He's a fake. He's a phony. After some altercation, Elphaba realizes that, hey, the Wizard of Oz, you're the one behind this. You're the one behind the discrimination of animals, taking away their voices. You're trying to take away all the magic and turn this place into normal old America. And he's like, yes, I am. He doesn't really say that. But Elphaba's like, nah, I'm going to take this spellbook. I'm going to leave. Fuck this shit. And she leaves, and the Wizard of Oz is like, no, we got to stop her. And they put a bounty on her and announces her as the Wicked Witch, and everyone in the world knows about this, including all the people from the school. Even Glinda is told that, like, hey, go chase her and, you know, we'll give you a little reward. So they, you know, run away. Elphaba starts running away, and Glinda starts chasing after her because she just wants things to go back to normal. And in reality, I'm pretty sure she was just trying to turn her in, but they were friends, so they keep running away as much as they can. Eventually, they reach this, like, attic area, and Elphaba decides to take this broom and is like, hey, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go take the spellbook, get powerful, and I gotta do my own thing. Glinda's like, I'll miss you, and they have this heartfelt moment, really, really emotional scene where they tell each other that they care about each other and they hope to see each other again. And then Cynthia puts on an amazing performance with this song of how, like, she's defying gravity and everything, and she takes on the mantle and realizes that, yeah, I'm gonna be a wicked witch. She takes the broom, flies away into the sky, and announces who she is, and it's so powerful. It's so good. She's the Wicked Witch. She is that witch, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably stuttering and probably getting a few things wrong, but it's just a really good scene. I really recommend everyone watch this film. because the film's over at that point. And guess what? This is actually a part 1 of type of film. So yeah, there's going to be a part 2, and the story's not over, and I don't want to know what happens. So I'm hoping that I don't see the musical or the play, because I kind of want to see it in the film and be surprised. But who knows? I don't know. If I get bored or if I really can't stop thinking about the story, I'll just watch the musical. So yeah, that's the whole film. She flies away. She's now the Wicked Witch of the West, and everyone is just like, oh my god, it's so amazing. And everyone was clapping and cheering, of course. Absolutely amazing job by everyone in the department. This movie was honestly really great. I'm really glad I watched it. The music was just great. Again, Joker 2, that's how you do a fucking musical. You better take a lesson, even though there's not really going to be another of that, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But hey, this is how a musical is done. Really great job, everyone. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, you both did an absolutely amazing job. Recently, I just reviewed Red 1, and I was talking a little shit about how, like, I know all about The Rock, I know his ego, I know what he's done, I know all this, and I know he's out of touch, even though he gone on and talked about how he thinks people should be singing in theaters. I don't think that should happen. I'm bringing this up because I could have easily have done the same thing for Ariana Grande. I don't know everything about her, and I only know very few things about her and her past and her relationships with people. I chose not to consider all of that when watching this film, because this was actually a good film and she did a really good job, and I don't know what's going to happen with her and, you know, this movie being under her belt. I don't really care. It's just she did a good job, but despite her drama and her bullshit that she got. I know there was also like rumors about people saying that they were being starved to death because they look completely different from when they started to now when the movie's out. Yeah, I feel like a lot of those rumors are, you know, they don't got really much merit and they're kind of baseless. I don't know. They just probably worked really hard. You know, when you're passionate about something, you work hard. This is what happens sometimes. That's not to say there probably was some wrongdoings or abuse or like mistreatings. Who the fuck really knows? It's not really my place to have that discussion or talk about it. Yeah, great film. I really recommend everyone go and watch it, and I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I thought it hit the mark everywhere that it could, and yeah, people need to watch this film. And Gladiator 2, because that was also a good movie, and I'm going to talk about that in another recording. So yeah, what did you guys think about Wicked? Let me know. Talk about it in the comments. You know, just have a discussion. I don't care. Talk about anything. Talk about movies that I should review next. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.